Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel for our April. I'm like, what month is it? April mid-month outturn. My name is Jenna Eli, for those of you who do not know me, and I am here with my trusty colleague, Mr.
I'm Scott. If you don't know me, anybody tuning in, if you call in on the phone, most of the time you're going to get Jenna or myself.
Yeah, it's us that
Yep.
you'll talk to. So yeah, so tonight what we're going to do is we're going to taste through 5 different whiskeys for our April mid-month outturn. And if you're new here and you're not really sure what an outturn is, an outturn essentially just a fancy word for a whiskey release. And an outturn preview is where we come here on YouTube and preview the whiskeys that are coming out tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern time. And we'll let you know what we think about them, answer any questions that you have. And so, yeah, if anything comes up while we're tasting through these, just let us know in the comments and we'll be sure to get to your questions. A few things.
I was going to say real quick before I forget too, since right at the beginning here, anybody, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe and click the bell button. We quit sending out emails to notify people we were live. So if you want to get notifications that we're live on YouTube, you have to be subscribed to the channel and you have to have the notifications bell clicked, and then when we go live you'll get a notification
like come hang out with Scott and Jenna.
That's right.
That's the notification you're gonna get.
Yep.
So before we dive into these whiskeys really quick, I do want to quickly mention our 30th anniversary bottle. The first wave of emails for that have gone out, so congratulations to all of you who were selected, but don't fret. We will probably, I would assume, or maybe not on this one, I'm not really sure, be sending out another wave of winners probably on Wednesday. So if you did not get selected this first wave, keep your fingers crossed because miracles do happen. And so we'll be sure to keep you all posted. And then once that lottery is done and selected and all of the bottles are accounted for, we'll be sure to let you all know. And there it is. Look how beautiful it is. Oh, it's so beautiful.
It's classic.
Yeah, great whiskey. So yeah, and then I guess one other thing before we get to drink this whiskey that I'm staring at in front of me on Thursday. Scott, do you want to talk about what's going to happen here on YouTube on Thursday?
Yeah, so
I wasn't invited to this party, so you want to talk about you're going to show up in some major bud on Thursday?
This is the 3rd or 4th episode of our Whiskey Roundtable. Will be this Thursday. Just discussing different topics within the whiskey realm. This week, myself and Ben and a guest will be on Thursday night discussing sherry casks, one of my favorite subjects. Thursday night, 7 p.m. So,
and I think some people who will be joining you maybe aren't crazy sherry heads. And then we have you, who's obviously like the biggest champion for sherry casks. And so there might be some like butting of heads and might get a little heated. So yeah, make sure you come join Ben and Scott and our third person on Thursday.
It's only the best style of whiskey out there. So
I mean, I know this is like, maybe we're not even supposed to talk about it, but your shirt that was made for you. Your deep rich and dried fruit shirt.
Oh,
yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe you'll have to wear your.
That's a good point.
To bring out your secret weapon, deep rich and dried fruit shirt.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what's happening for the rest of the week here on YouTube. And then next week, I believe, is our virtual drams where we're going to get together and taste through together 26.197, which was selected as our virtual drams bottle for this month. And so I'm very excited to dive into that because I have not had a chance to taste that one yet.
Which one? Sorry.
The virtual drams bottle, the 26.197. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of the things happening here in YouTube land. So yeah, that's the tea. I love that.
That one sold out pretty quick. The 26.197. Yeah.
Yeah, that one moved pretty quick. So I like the Whiskey Franco wrote, "Oh, there's Dirtiff merch." That's funny.
Let's go through a quick roll call for people tuning in before we get started with whiskey number 1. But Sean Spaeth is here, Stewart of Butte. And I'm not sure who Stewart of Butte is. Give us a clue, Stewart. We know a couple of other Stewarts. We're not sure if you're one of them Stewarts or a different Stewart. The Whiskey Franco is here. JT, Justin Taves. Borderlander. I think I said Sean Spaeth already. Yep. And Sanctus Vitae, Tom R., Joe Combs II, Jason Jones, Adam Clary, Big Dog, Brandon. Scrolling. Oh, Eric Waite, Whiskey Studies. What's going on, Eric? Daniel Cleric is here. Mash and Drum. What's up, Jason? And Ryan Shaw.
Sweet. Well, thank you all for coming and joining us.
Yep, absolutely.
And, yeah, Jason, to answer your question really quick in case you missed it, the first wave of winners have been notified for the 30th anniversary bottling. And we will probably maybe have another one probably on Wednesday if everybody does not claim their bottle.
Generally, we have, a certain number, say 20 to 30 people that don't, when we have a lottery, there's 20 to 30 people that don't buy it in the first wave. So we go down the list and we notify the next 20 to 30 people. I don't see that many people not buying this bottle. So maybe if you're in the chat, you want to try to bribe somebody that, did win it, or maybe you want to try to, bribe them out of their bottle, that's up to you. But yeah, I would say there's probably still be a few people, 5 to 10 would be my guess.
I think we'll definitely be sending out a second wave, but
you'll still have a chance of getting a bottle if you did not get notified today. So
yes. So that's the tea. So we got 5 whiskeys tonight.
5 whiskeys.
5 whiskeys. All right, let's get into it, shall we?
Yep.
You do the first one.
All right. Cask number 71.89, curious but congenial, 8-year-old Speyside in our juicy oak and vanilla profile. First fill ex-bourbon barrel, a whopping 63.1% ABV.
I did not even see that.
Yeah.
It smells that way. It's not very aggressive on the nose.
And looking on the label, I didn't realize it, 750 milliliter. So good price here, 750 milliliter bottle still on this one. And just citrusy vanillas jumping right out of the glass.
There's a little pine essential oil, pine sol-y. Yeah. Not in a bad way, because I really like this. I literally, the words that I like pine notes in my whiskey just came out of my mouth an hour ago. And so very excited to see that note in here.
Yeah, I like that. Waxy furniture polish, pine sol type. There's a little bit of it's a vanilla, but it's
I was getting a biscuit, shortbread biscuit.
Shortbread biscuit. Yeah, malty, bready.
Vanilla, you took a Walker shortbread and dipped it in vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla wafer, I would go with. Yeah. Nice bake.
Yeah, vanilla wafer.
Usually I get vanilla extract or vanilla syrup, vanilla ice cream, vanilla frosting, vanilla just wafer.
Wafery. A wafery whiskey. Yeah, it's quite fresh, clean. It smells very clean.
Yeah, this is a large part of a certain blend, correct?
Yes.
The distillery.
Rhymes with Valentine. Yeah, this is a large component of the Valentine's blend. You don't often see these in, single malt form via a single cask. I know they've released a couple of official bottlings, but very, very rare.
All right, going in on the palate. Cheers.
All right, cheers. I still can't swish it like you, like Listerine. Swish it around in other ways, but not like through my teeth.
There's a little bit of a dry tobacco I'm getting. I didn't get before when I sampled it, but really like a dry, almost cigar leaf or dry cigar tobacco. Biscuity, bready.
It is biscuity.
Yeah. Vanilla's a little bit of spice going on with it, a little bit of some cinnamon, maybe a little bit of pepper, not much.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when it hit my palate, I was like, this is going to be spicy. Like there was, like capsaicin, almost like when isn't that what it is? The spice that like hits your, when it like hits your palate, you get that little like feeling. But I'm going back and I'm getting almost like damp leaves. Maybe that's like we're kind of on that same tobacco thing, but like like when you're like cleaning up wet leaves in your yard and that like smell of wet leaves.
Yeah.
JT, I think I would too. That's why I can't do it on YouTube, because then you all would see me.
Ooh.
And Eric, this is Distillery 71.
Yeah, we can't say. You'll have to look it up, or someone can let you know in the comments there. Very nice. I mean, for an 8-year-old, outside of the ABV, palate is very nice on this one, and a great finish that really kind of hangs in there. All these notes just stringing on.
It has really good texture. Like it's like quite oily, like really good viscosity. And actually I find the nose and palate on this match really well. I'm getting that like piney, wet leaves. There's a little like damp, earthen kind of note to this. And then like a little bit of just that shortbread biscuit dipped in vanilla. I mean, I'm getting that on nose and palate.
Maybe a little pear. I was trying to think for fruity, citrusy notes, what I was getting. Maybe a little pear, a little poached pear.
I can see pear now as I'm like literally chewing it.
Yeah, with a little cinnamon, little poached pear with some cinnamon on it.
Like this is like one of those whiskeys that like you could actually like just chew. I'm like over here just like I just have like a big old piece of tobacco in my like, cheeks or something. I don't know. I'm just over here like just chewing along. That's quite nice. I'm surprised.
Drop of water. Everything's kind of expanding. Nothing else really coming out with it. But really, it even feels about the same still ABV wise and even finish wise. But really just kind of helping everything expand and push out there a little bit.
There's a tasting note on here that as I read it, it just like totally clicked. There is like in my pre-whiskey days, I was a vintage reseller, and I love the smell of just like vintage things. Like I love old smells, and like an old vintage dress that I'm probably like very few people on the planet that love that smell. And my husband hated it, but there's like that old, just like vintage kind of like musty smell.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of that. And there's a note here on the label. And I'm like, oh my God, that's it. So.
All right. Are you ready to read it?
Let's read them. Okay. So this says leather boots on a pine table, Sicilian lemons and oranges, a fruity kick, and a 1960s classroom. Love that tasting note, including hyacinths and boiled sweets.
The weird thing is though, like I said, for this doesn't feel 8 years. I think blind, I would think this was a 12-year-old whiskey, somewhere in that range. And by some of those notes, I think that's obvious too, because I mean, like when you get leather or you get boots, or you get 1960s classroom, I mean, that's like usually an older whiskey given those notes.
Right. Got a little more age to it.
Mhm.
But I love, it's probably one of my new favorite tasting notes right now. Just like that vintage, old aroma. And like, I don't know if anybody out there, like, like when you walk into any school, they all have the same smell. Like, why do all schools have the same, like high school, like whatever it is, they all smell the same.
Asbestos.
It's probably that's probably what it is.
No.
There is like a smell, and I don't know if it's because they're like full of crayons and pencils and like I don't know all of those things, but there is like definitely an element of like a dusty, old, like vintage, classroom.
Well, and like Sean Spaeth is pointing out, he says that first fill barrel must have still been pretty active. Yeah, I think so. For an 8-year-old whiskey, to pick up some of these notes that it has, and I guess we did not show the color.
Oh,
really? Almost looks like an 8-year and maybe a second fill. I mean, but for the palate though, definitely outshining. I can't get it to. There we go. Yeah. It looks more like a second fill barrel color influence, but
yeah, I'm quite surprised by this, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Curious but congenial. I like it. Nice.
Whiskey Franco says my new tasting note: pencil shavings and home ec. All right. Well, there's a good point though too.
Yeah,
Sean Faith, I wonder if maybe it had some really old bourbon in it beforehand or something.
That would be really interesting. That would be an interesting spec on some of these casks, like how old was the whiskey that was in it prior to. That would be a cool additional thing to know. I wonder if they can do that. We'll have to reach out and see if it's possible to acquire that information. All right. Well, please.
Number 2. Hello, number 2.
What's number?
Anybody know what movie that's from?
Number 2.
Ask those in the chat. Hello, number 2. No, you don't know?
Hello, number 2. No. James Bond? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a James Bond. Yep, there we go. They are saying I already got it. It's a James Bond.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Austin Powers. I was like 13 years old, I think.
No, it's not The Matrix. The Matrix is hello, Mr. Anderson.
Oh, Scott dropping all the movie knowledge.
I speak fluent movie quotes, remember? Spoof of James Bond. That's right. All right. You going to introduce this one?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it. All right. Next one is cask 48.143 Worm Silk. And this is a 9-year Speyside and a first fill ex-bourbon barrel at 60.4% ABV in our spicy and sweet flavor profile. Yeah, let's see. There it is. I have really fallen in love with this flavor profile over the past couple of months.
And really similar color here to our first, which was a first fill bourbon barrel. It was an 8-year-old first fill bourbon barrel as well. Really pretty close here. 9-year-old, extra year in there. A little sweeter on the nose than the.
Really like this.
Yeah.
Yep. This is right up my alley.
More fruity and berries, almost spicy. Pepper, black pepper, and fresh cracked black pepper.
I'm getting like it's like strawberry and herbs. I'm getting like strawberries, raspberries, herbs, like dried herbs. There's a little dusty, musty thing going on. Yeah, it's like dusty strawberries and dried herbs.
Now this one I get pencil shavings or sawdust on.
Yeah, so you get there's some dust going on in this. It's a dusty whiskey is what we'll call it. What kind of dust? I don't know.
Sawdust.
Sawdust. Yeah. Sawdust. Yeah.
And what's our AB? Let's see. We're still up there on this one, 60.4%.
4, yeah.
And we are a 750 milliliter bottle on this one still as well.
Yeah, so only the last two are going to be 700.
700s.
Yeah, so the first 3 will be 750s. The last 2 will be 700s.
Caramels.
I'm just getting like a... You know those like wipes you clean the leather seats with?
Mm-hmm.
Armor All wipes.
Yeah, for leather. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of Armor All wipes.
Huh.
But then there is like on the back end, like you have to like really take your time with it. There is like a very fresh, like lemon drop note. Like a lemon honey drop.
I mean, like crispy caramel wafer, kind of like almost like a biscotti maybe, but like with caramelized with hard caramel on it.
Ooh, like a toffee?
Yeah, toffee maybe.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm excited to read the tasting notes on this.
All right, let's get in on the palate first.
Yes, I'm not looking at. I don't, because it's like I find joy in that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I'm gonna try to do the swish.
Ooh.
Maybe
so. Spicy and sweet is our profile on this one, but turn it around. It's sweet hits you up front,
Yes.
or at least did for me. Yeah, it was sweet and all these fruits and berries almost, and then the spiciness kicked in mid palate and on the finish into those peppery notes, oak, toffee, and caramel.
It's a little woody.
Yeah. And I mean, there's almost some sherry notes like this. I mean, it hasn't. This is just first fill ex bourbon barrel. There's almost some very faint hints, like with that toffee and some of these darker fruits, like these berries that I'm getting. Almost makes it feel like there's a very short sherry finish on this one. There isn't, but some of those notes are almost there.
I would think that this was in wood a lot longer than 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like just strictly based off of the palate. It is like a little, like it's woody to me. And it's sweet. Like the second it hit my palate, I could taste it was sweet. Like I knew it was going to be sweet. But yeah, like you said, it's like sweet then spicy.
Berries, a little cantaloupe with pepper on it. We had that a couple weeks back, a couple outturns back. A melon.
It is melony. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Not what I was expecting.
Very slight tobaccos again. Slight toasted barrel. Slight char. Toasted oak, toasted wood.
Yeah, it's like a melony, bubblegummy, woody, sweet thing.
You said bubble gum and bubblicious came to mind. Just popped right in. Yeah. And that pink.
Yeah, there is like a bubblegummy note. Yeah. That's like at the top. It's like just hit like the top of my palate.
Daddy, look at that big ugly gator.
What?
That reminds me, I got to call your mama tonight. Smokey and the Bandit.
I'll call my mama.
That's Smokey and the Bandit quotes on there, and Sheriff Buford P. Justice. Somebody chasing you, Sheriff?
Too young for this, Scott. Oh.
I got to drop a water on mine. So yeah, go with the notes and let's see what water
You
does.
talk about it with water. I'm going to pull up the full tasting notes because the ones that are on the bottle are not like very. They're kind of whack and short, and I want to know more about. I want to pull up the full ones really quick.
Water helping this one.
Yeah.
Not necessarily bringing anything out, but it's really the finish is dragging on now a little bit more with water, more oak showing, but really just that sweet spiciness, a little bit more of a pipe tobacco showing.
So it's funny, the tasting notes on the bottle, like I'll read them. They don't really tell you much. And I just like glance through the full tasting notes, which I'll read. And we hit a couple of those.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So the tasting notes on the bottle just say typically full of character and textural richness. This one is also wonderfully expressive with subtle fruits, herbal notes, and heady flowers. So like not super detailed in like what they're getting, but I want to read the full ones because I think they really kind of hit it spot on, and we picked up quite a few of these. So shall I do it?
Yep.
All right. Cool. So this says an extremely expressive, neat nose that implied white and yellow flowers, rose water, sandalwood, Turkish delight, tiger balm, and dried lavender. Good call on the tiger balm. I love the smell of tiger balm. Weighty distillate, but also elegant and complex. Reduction brought notes of new leather, cough medicines, pulpy waxes, and citrus rinds. That's probably where I'm getting that like lemon note. A wonderfully expressive dram, we thought. The neat palate displayed an initial richness with lemon jelly, pineapple syrup, peach schnapps, and melon balls. Water brought white stone fruits, lychee cordial, and elderflower champagne. Also some dried fruit notes of apricot and sultana. Maybe that's your sherry.
Yeah. Thing. Sultanas. Yeah.
Yeah.
The apricot. Whew.
There's a lot of movie things happening in the chat.
Yeah. I forget. A couple times ago, what did I quote? I can't remember what movie it was now. I'll think of it by the end. But somebody commented that they actually joined the society based on my movie quote.
We should have a society movie night somewhere.
Oh, it was from the other guys. It was, I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly. And yeah. So somebody joined. I have to go back in those comments and find that person.
I have to put that on your end of your review.
Yeah. Got one member to join because of my movie.
Right. I watch a lot of movies, like only with my husband. I don't really watch anything like alone. So I don't really have like good movie quotes. Just a bunch of Pineapple Express ones and like Step Brothers. Those ones I have a lot of.
All right, little palate cleanser going here with my homemade sourdough bread.
Scott is our resident bread man. All right. Next one. Oh my gosh, we're moving fast. Hold on, I don't even have it poured yet.
Me neither. There we go.
All right. You got this one. Oh, you got a mouthful of bread.
Yep. I'll get it. All right. Oh, that was not loud. Cask 9.229 hits the sweet spot. 17-year-old Speyside, sweet, fruity, and mellow. First fill ex-bourbon barrel, 55% ABV, will be $195 and 750 milliliter bottle again. 17 years here on a first fill bourbon barrel, still color fairly light for that amount of time.
It is actually not far off from the first two that we had.
I know. Yeah. Doesn't look like that much cask influence. So it'd be a good look at Distillery 9s, I think. Distillate. Oh, on the nose. Yeah, definitely lighter, sweeter. Vanillas and caramels. Nice bakery baked dessert breads. Croissants with powdered sugar.
Says the bread man.
Yeah.
I'm almost getting like I definitely can agree with you on like the pastry, bready kind of quality, but I'm also getting like, this one's quite floral to me. Like this smells like a bakery that's like in the middle of a field of flowers or something, or like an orchard.
There's almost something a little funkier in there though too underneath. Yeah. Underneath the sweet and the baked goods and the flowers. It's almost like, I mean, there's a little bit of earthy, herbal funk.
All right, well, I'm going to taste it.
All right. See if I can pin down anything else there on the nose. Yeah.
I did like a baby swish. That is way different than I thought it would be just based off of the nose. It's actually quite like musty and like earthy and almost savory.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some like meaty kind of qualities to this whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what was showing on the nose there, a little bit underneath that sweetness and the fruits and the floral.
So it's like picnic. It's like you got like a little spread of meats in a field of flowers on picnic.
This one's very nice.
The most silent we've ever been for like. This one is actually really good.
Oddly, that herbal earthy note just came across as a dirty martini.
Oh,
yeah, it was like a little bit of olive juice in a or in vermouth or vodka.
Yeah, there is like a musty, funky. Seems to be the theme.
I love dirty martinis too, and yeah, I was like that one. I was like, oh my.
Do you like gin or vodka?
I make mine with vodka. I'm not against gin.
I like a gin martini.
I use 2 or 3 big olives, and then I even pour some juice in there.
Yeah.
Like really,
I love that too. I like a really dry martini too.
Yeah.
Do you do like the blue cheese olives?
No, I just use regular martini olives.
Yeah,
but I bet. So I've been thinking about. I know we're getting off topic here, but I'm going to make one with Kalamata olive juice though. But use regular martini olives, I think, or maybe even get some blue cheese ones. But use Kalamata olive juice in it. And I think that would be pretty good.
There's just something very refreshing about a martini.
Our bosses are watching and they're going, are they talking about martini?
It's a Scotch martini, obviously.
Yeah, a lot of the floral notes just came through on the nose, just sitting here.
I think at least for me, the nose is quite floral. That, like you said, that bready, like bread crust, and big floral notes for me on this.
An eclair.
Oh.
Baked, croissant or whatever with the cream
inside.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good right now. I'm going to have an ice cream sandwich after this. So my head's already in the right place.
Oh, I'm still sitting here nosing. This is really good on the nose. I've been sipping, but then I'm also nosing.
I'm doing the same thing.
Mm.
Oh, and the nose of this is really, really fantastic.
Sweet, fruity, and mellow is a great profile on this one, and it is really across the board. Let's try to pin down some of the fruits here. I would go strawberries.
Yeah, it's like
Apples.
going through all of my pantry of fruits to see where this would kind of fit. There is like a, yeah, I can see like a little apple, a little raspberry, but it's like, it's soft. These are like soft fruits, at least for me.
I got eclair on the mind now. I can't get that out.
Right? That's what we need to do the next time you and I host a tasting on here. Just have like a bunch of pastries with us. We'll pair them up with pastries.
All right, even at 55%, water's helping this one as well. I don't know if you want to try water or not. Really, go ahead.
Do you know who I am?
That's what I said, if you want to. Everyone knows Jenna's neat. Scott adds water.
Scott is our resident bread guy and add water guy.
A little bit more, maybe a little bit of nuttiness starting to show now, and even a little bit more, even tobacco again, wrapper, cigar wrapper, dried cigar wrapper, just the leaf tobacco. Wow, this one's really, and a great finish on this one. 17 years, first fill ex bourbon barrel. Finish is real, and with water. I think it was there before though, too, neat, but with water, the finish really, really dragging out on this one now. I can still even feel it on the back of my tongue and going into my palate.
Yeah, the nose on this though is probably, of what we've tasted so far, the most, like, it draws you in. You just want to keep nosing it. At least like, it's just the nose of this is really, really beautiful. Whew.
I think it's a 17 years, probably this one that's bringing out some of those herbal notes, that earthy note, like you've noticed that olive martini type, a little bit of funk. I think it's 17 years doing that. Wow. I added a second drop of water here.
Living on the edge today.
Yeah, even at 55% though, and it was great and neat. It was great with a drop of water. Let's try it with two. But let's get to the. You want to read the tasting notes while I'm tasting it?
Let's do it. All right, so this says flowers on a summer meadow, Belgian waffles and carrot cake were followed by hibiscus iced tea and maple syrup on pancakes.
A lot of the baked goods, all the fruits,
the floral notes.
What was the closest they had for kind of herbal or earthy?
Let me pull up. I want to pull up the full notes and see what they got. Let's see. So this says there are only 49 of these in stock. So it says the full notes are the sweet scent of fresh grass and flowers in a summer meadow as we spread out our picnic blanket, enjoying coconut lime shortbread cookies and butterscotch ice cream in a cone. On the palate, we detected salted caramel, Belgian waffles, and carrot cake before sipping a Moscato sangria, deliciously sweet and refreshing mixture of Moscato wine, fresh berries, oranges, raspberry liqueur topped with sparkling water. Water added a floral dimension, fresh cut, pressed, but also flowering houseplants. Maybe that's houseplants. While to taste sweet and mellow hibiscus tea, iced tea, rose water, as well as maple syrup on pancakes and dusted lemon bonbons.
Yeah. Not quite as much of the earthy herbal notes that we're getting, but yeah, a lot of those others, all the biscuity, bready, fruity notes, very, very much so. Dead on.
On it.
now.
Still martini talk.
Oh, yeah. And now for an interesting one.
I know this is the one, honestly, that I'm like the most jazzed up to taste.
Just slide this one in there. You can see this is a spicy and dry. We get into this. But this is an exclusively sherry matured whiskey.
Very, very slowly. I'm not reading.
Double maturation, but ex Oloroso butt, and then it was transferred to a first fill ex bodega
All right,
Oloroso butt.
So a little more amber than the first two, or a little more hay, goldeny. One, love this flavor profile.
Mm-hmm.
Spicy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the nose of this is exciting. Center myself.
Look, you know what? So
that's a big pour.
Well, just for the color, I'll do a big pour just for the color to be able to show it. But I actually, for 11 years in all sherry, I expected a richer, darker, more mahogany color.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could, in a blind, maybe not think that there was any sherry involved in this, but it's a little more amber than the first three.
I would probably just think like a toasted, a retoasted hogshead or something that
yeah.
I mean, the normal sherry color, not showing here. So let's find out why this is in the spicy and dry profile.
The nose of this is so exciting.
Ooh.
Hold on, I'm going to pull up the full tasting notes because we're definitely reading the full tasting notes on this. I just want to get them pulled up really quick before I get lost in the sauce.
Outside of toasted, there's toasted oak. There's some dark fruit on the nose, spicy.
All right. I'm almost getting there's like a vinegar note, like a champagne vinegar, it's like a sweet vinegar note.
A red wine vinegar, maybe a raspberry vinegar.
Yeah, like a raspberry vinegar, like something not like a rice wine vinegar or not even like a red wine vinegar. Like it's not like that sharp. It's a little more on the sweet side, like a sweet.
What'd you say?
Sweet vinegar. It's not as sharp as like a red wine vinegar.
Oh, sharp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is exciting. I'm really into this.
Tom R says it's for science, Scott.
And there's it's like vinegar and ginger and I want to cook with this.
Cooking spices, nutmeg, cardamom, pepper. Yeah, I'd even go a little curry powder.
Yeah, I could see that.
Spicy.
Yeah, I want to make I want to marinate some tofu or something and have it on rice with a runny egg. I know the exact dish I want to make. Yeah, it's like a sweet vinegar with ginger. There's there's almost I want to say a little soy sauce thing. Like a salty.
You're not far off.
Oh man, I'm into this.
Yeah, but so going back even to the color, like we talked about, 11 years here of exclusive sherry maturation. On the nose, I don't get a lot of those notes that I would expect. When I saw, this, and before I cracked it, before I opened it and sampled it, I was thinking 11 years exclusive sherry maturation. Why is this in spicy and dry?
Yeah.
And then even sitting here with you, and it's kind of like some of those usual sherry notes that we think would be there aren't.
No, not on the nose at least. I mean,
no.
But and Tom Art, no fish sauce in this one. More on the sweeter side of the sauce world.
A sweet and spicy stir fry.
Yeah.
Salty.
Spicy,
Yeah.
like an orange
Yeah.
kind of note. Yeah, think of like a spicy orange glaze that you would put on salmon or chicken or
blood orange.
Yeah, blood orange. Spot on. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, it's like blood orange and chili oil and a little splash of some type of sweet vinegar.
Unagi? I don't know.
To this. I'm excited to taste this.
All right, well, cheers. Let's get in on the palate.
Cheers.
This is delicious, but it's so different than what I'm expecting. You get out of the cask types on this one where you think, 11 years of exclusive sherry. I don't know, like this bodega, but maybe it was really dry or something. You don't have a lot of that usual sherry syrupy influence here.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. It's very neat, but spicy and dry is really a perfect profile for this one. It is. All of that peppery kind of chili powder, chili pepper, chili spice.
Yep.
Soy sauce, Worcestershire. Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire.
I don't know. Everybody says it different.
But yeah, meaty, salty.
Yep.
Italian meats, pepperonis and salamis. I about threw blue cheese in there, but not really blue cheese. Parmesan, maybe. Little bit of funk, not much. Smoked Gouda.
So last night for dinner, I marinated salmon in ginger, soy sauce, orange juice, garlic. I don't know. There's like a couple other things in there, and this would have like paired. And I'm not one to like pair whiskey with like a meal. I like to pair whiskey with dessert, but this would have paired so beautifully with this. Like there's like a sauce of like ginger, orange juice, gochujang, and like a little rice wine vinegar and some green onions, and this would have just been like so freaking delicious with the dinner I made last night.
I had to look up. So 9 years in an ex Oloroso butt, transferred to an ex bodega, first fill Oloroso butt. So 9 and 2.
I don't get typical sherry.
I know that's what I was just going to ask you. Is it me or blind? I think this one would confuse me.
This one would confuse me too because I wouldn't pin this as Oloroso.
I know that's what is so intriguing. It's so neat with it. It's so different.
Oh my gosh. This is fantastic.
It is. I mean, you would know that this one is, a double maturation or, a longer maturation. There's some wine influence here. But yeah, what's weird, those usual Oloroso notes that you would expect aren't there.
Yeah.
What?
Like a tangerine ginger vinegar glaze thing going on. And then there's like a meaty element to this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, I want to make like musobi and eat that and drink this. Like this is so like bar, like, I don't want to say like drunk food, but like bar food, like, like where you're snacking and like, I don't know, playing card games or whatever. Like this just would pair with something like really salty. And this, I'm just really into this. I'm going to be like exploring with this whiskey and food.
Black walnut tea or black tea.
Yeah, there's like a datey, like figgy tea. I get you on that, like a figgy jam thing on the end. Oh my gosh. This is so good. This I'm excited to read the tasting notes on this.
I got to refresh my memory on the distillery on this one.
First time I ever tasted this distillery was in Scotland.
Oh, yeah, got it.
And I was quite impressed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, some good whiskeys. And probably so a little bit different profile here from Distillery 41 as well, I think.
Yeah. This is definitely a unique one, at least of what we've had. But yeah, it's quite meaty and salty and like tangy, and it just would pair really well with a lot of tasty snacks.
Water bringing out more sweetness, almost more caramels and chocolates with water. So maybe some of maybe this needs a little water on it to start to release some of that.
I think the ABV on this is perfect.
Uh-huh.
Like the delivery of all of those aromas, both on the nose and flavors on the palate, it's like a perfect transition. Really nice.
But Mamuka is saying that whatever you guys describing, that's what I experience every time I have anything from that distillery. Really?
Yeah, this is one of the first whiskeys that I like. I want to eat food with this. Usually I don't want to eat a meal with any whiskey. I like to have like the experience of having the whiskey, the experience of having the meal, and like those two like sometimes polarizing things coming together. They clash a little bit. But like I genuinely want to pair this with food.
Do you usually, from JT, do you usually pour your leftover tastings for a blend at the end, or are there any leftovers? Yep, I'll usually go through. So I've got several of my glasses here. I've actually got an infinity bottle over here to the side. I'll dump everything into after a tasting.
I pour baby pours. I'm a baby pour kind of gal.
So. See, that's why I pour those bigger ones, though. One to show the color, but then also it's going in the dump bottle at the end. I've got a couple of friends that fight over. Well, Bart is one of them. They fight over the dump bottles. So,
Bart.
Water definitely helping this one. Try this one with some water if you haven't, Jenna. More chocolates are showing. More caramels are showing. Even more, a little bit more leather and a little bit more tobaccos are showing. I think probably some of that sherry is starting to reveal itself a little bit here with water. I've got 2 drops on mine, so
all right, I'm gonna just add a little splash.
Bart likes them. Bart likes anything.
Okay, so with water, I'm getting like butterscotch and leather, like butterscotched leather.
Yeah. I would agree.
It's like a little more like sooty with water. Like there's a sooty, charry thing happening with water.
There's a little bit more char, barrel char almost showing.
Yeah, but I feel like it takes away from like intensity of all of those like really fun flavors. So I'm gonna go back and tell you I prefer it neat.
See, Kim is just now tuning in, KLG223. She says, just in time to see my fave distillery, 41.
This is a fun one.
Yeah, this one won't disappoint then.
Yeah, this is
coming in at the end. It's so weird, though, 11 years exclusive Oloroso maturation, but there's some alchemy going on here, if you want to say it. It's different.
It's so different.
It's not anything at all what I was expecting when I saw 11 years exclusive, Oloroso sherry maturation. So it's weird because some of those usual sherry notes aren't there, and it's just really turned into this different spicy and dry being a perfect profile for this one. Oh, with water, that's what I was going to. It became to me, it became a little bit more astringent, a little bit drier, even with water. I think helping to open up some of those oak tannins that are in there.
I'm going to read the full tasting notes on this.
All right.
All right. So this says the heady aromas of currants and raisins soaked in sweet sherry join black cherry clafouti dessert with butterscotch sweets and ginger. Cherries continued on the palate, but now with nuts, charred wood, and coriander seeds coated in treacle and citrus zest. Adding water uncovered sultanas, orange segments, and baked peaches with fresh almonds, marzipan, and creme catalan. Not sure what that is. While salty sea air blew through an open sherry bodega. Within the bodega, complex Oloroso flavors of walnuts and porcini mushrooms blended with heavy and oily malt spirit before a dash of lime juice splashed onto oak spices and dry tannins. After spending 9 years in an ex-Oloroso butt, this was transferred into an ex-bodega first fill Oloroso butt for the remainder of its maturation. Yeah, a lot going on in this. Super cool. Like super cool whiskey. I really like that vinegary note that it's giving. And I'm really into it. Really excited to experiment with this whiskey.
And really though, for the spicy and dry profile, unique and different.
I agree.
A little bit different than some of those we see in the spicy and dry profile, but it's fitting though too, because like I said, it's weird that a lot of those Oloroso notes that you expect aren't really there. It's different. It's a different Oloroso, and I don't know if it was that second maturation in that ex bodega Oloroso butt that was different, or the first, maybe it was that first 9 years in that first ex Oloroso butt. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. It's delicious.
Yeah, I'm very, very pleased with that whiskey. And Mamuka 1977 was asking if you got the leather, tobacco, and ginger on that.
Leather and tobacco, yeah.
Yeah, really, really just funky, cool, very different whiskey. It would be a fun whiskey to pour for whiskey friends to kind of catch them off guard.
Right. Trying to freshen the palate up here a little bit before we move into the last one.
I'm going to do this next time, Scott. I'm going to have snacks on board. I just have a strawberry Kit Kat within arm's reach, but that's about it. I don't know if that would cleanse my
strawberry palate. Kit Kat.
Yes. Let me get it.
What is a strawberry Kit Kat?
Strawberry Kit Kat.
Never seen them.
I will send you some.
No, you don't have to send me any.
Well, I will. I'm sure there's a whiskey in here that I can tuck in there with you, but I'm going to have it because it's the only thing I have, like I said, within arm's reach.
All right. Last and final whiskey of the night.
Tastes like strawberry Kit Kats.
108.51 from the seaside to the A&E side. 10-year-old Speyside, lightly peated. Second fill ex-bourbon barrel, 63.7%. $115. This one is 700 milliliter bottle. Last one, I don't think we mentioned that. That one was 700 as well.
700.
Yeah.
So the first three are 750s. The last two are 700s.
All right.
Oh.
We had to, Jenna looked up. I said, what is up with the title on this one? From the seaside to the A&E side. She's smart. She guessed. She knew it. But then she looked it up and she found out she was right.
I confirmed that I'm smart.
That's right. So what is it? What's the A&E side?
A&E is like accident and emergency. So essentially, I believe it's the UK equivalent to the emergency room.
Yeah.
So maybe there's some medicinal, bandagey, haunted hospital things going on in this whiskey, which we'll find out.
The Whiskey Franco says, I thought it was from the window to the wall reference. From the window to the wall.
Maybe. I'm not sweating yet, so I'll let you know. I don't know. Is it?
But no, from the seaside to the accident and emergency side. So I mean, looking at the title, that would assume me to lead me to believe there's maybe some antiseptic, maybe some
yeah, like medicinal
notes, maybe
kind of things happening. Which, I mean, for a Speyside distillery, not typical, but
color on this one pretty consistent with most of the drams tonight.
Yeah,
10 years, second fill ex bourbon barrel. Yeah, yours looks a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter light going there.
Yeah.
Peat wow, peat was really, it's not a heavy peat, but peat, a sweet peat.
Sweet peat, yep.
Toasted and vanillaed. Malty. Wow.
I think if you could peat like freshly cut grass, that's what this is reminding me of. Like green, it smells green. It smells like fresh, like freshly cut grass in like light peat. There's like a little, again, like that biscuit note, like an oat cake. Maybe it's the Kit Kat.
Are you getting any of the A&E side?
I mean, I could see like the astringent side of the emergency room, like the smell of, like when you walk into a hospital, again, much like schools, they all smell the same. There's like a little bit of not corpse. It doesn't smell like a corpse, Sean. Not that I know what that smells like.
I do, and I hope we never have a whiskey that smells like a corpse.
Well,
it's one of those things that,
astringent. I could see like an astringent.
I almost go a little bit more oily, like peat, not necessarily industrial or maybe industrial compared to medicinal or, antiseptic type, but maybe a little bit more oily, more industrial type peat type smoke.
Yeah, it's like a antiseptic lime juice is what I'm getting. It could be A&E, like the TV channel.
And when I first saw A&E, that's what I thought of, which I don't know what that stands for though either. I think it's action and excitement, maybe, or something. I don't know what A&E.
I think Big Dog said arts and entertainment.
Art, that's it. I bet.
I don't know.
Action and explosives.
I like action and excitement. That's cool too.
But no, I mean it's a very nice, sweet, peaty,
for sure,
citrusy, vanilla, malty nose.
Yeah, I'm getting again like antiseptic, lime juice.
Okay.
Like a little like light peat, green, like freshly cut grass. Yeah, there is like a little medicinal thing happening on the nose. So, oh, you already went in and tasted it. Jeez.
Just while you were talking, I thought, let me get in here and just get the swishing done. Peat, I mean, this is lightly peated, but peat is up front on this one.
Okay.
Even now I've swallowed and there's still peat here. It's very nice, peanutty, citrusy. All those notes on the nose are there on the palate. This one is one that's, the palate is very a mirror image of the nose.
This is like eating pad thai in a hospital. That's what this is like. Pad thai in a hospital. I'm still getting that like lime, like on top of pad thai. It's a little medicinal, a little iodine-y, a little band-aidy. Like there's a bandagey, band-aidy thing.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, good call.
It's like lime juice on a band-aid.
I'm surprised though by the peat on the palate.
I was about to say I agree with you on the peat.
Yeah.
Up front.
Even though it's lightly peated, there's quite a bit there. I mean, I can still see why it's in the lightly peated category. It is.
Yeah.
But there's more than I was expecting. And there's more. I mean, we've had some other, individual casks from, in the lightly peated profile with a lot less peat.
Yep.
Yeah, but this one very nice. But yeah, I like the industrial medicinal peat, vanillas, milk chocolates, citrus fruits. But I'm just trying to discern. Maybe lemony. Maybe almost turning a little exotic, maybe a little tangerine fruit, maybe almost starting a little tropical. Nope.
I get like very clean lime juice. Like it is like literally eating pad thai with like lime juice on top. Because like you said, peanut, and there is like a peanutty kind of quality to the palate of this. So it's like peanutty, limey, and then like encompassing that is this like medicinal, funky band-aid, bandagey, iodine-y, but it's like soft, peaty kind of note. I'm quite surprised.
Yeah. Interesting. I just put a drop of water. Let me add a little bit more because this one, we started with hot and we're ending with hot.
ABV. I know. I was not anticipating this last one being ABV.
63.7%.
Definitely could use some snacks.
At least we only have 5 and not 6.
Right.
Ugh.
I'm gonna see what the
nice nose. This is kind of like that the 17-year-old Distillery 9, where the nose kind of just kept. The nose is really just same on this one. We're in the middle of our tasting, but this one I like to keep nosing.
Yeah, it's got a great nose. I'm gonna pull up the full tasting notes on this one. I'm just gonna do this from now on.
Yeah. We got a couple of drops of water here, so let me see what happens on the palate. Nose is still just delicious on this one. If the nose can be delicious, it can be aromatic.
Oh. I'm like reading the tasting notes, and I'm like, oh. All right.
Wow.
You like it with water?
I like this one with water again. I know it's going to surprise everybody.
Scott.
Becoming, again, more biscuity, more wafers, malty. All that peat is still there. Little bit more of the melons, maybe a little papaya, tangerine, cantaloupe, melon type note showing underneath.
I could see the melony thing with water for sure.
Yeah.
Like honey, dewy. Yeah, I could definitely see that with water. Do you have butter on your bread?
No. Just plain.
I saw a big old dab of butter and I was like, wow. I'm impressed. Make your own butter.
I'm trying to stay away from the crust though. Just because it's crunchy and harder to chew. I don't need to do that on camera.
Much like I don't want to swish my whiskey on camera. I'll have to try it off camera first. I'll have to practice.
There you go. Daniel Cleric saying wafer, chocolate, strawberry. Scott, are you sneaking strawberry Kit Kats?
Now I have to send Scott the strawberry Kit Kats. Then he will sneak the strawberry Kit Kats. Trust me. Once he tastes the strawberry Kit Kat, he will be sneaking the strawberry Kit Kats. They're delicious. I will send you some.
So thoughts on this one, Jenna? Neat or with water?
Neat. Definitely neat. I just really like, so I love medicinal qualities in whiskey. I love finding that like Band-Aid, that like fresh pool float, that iodine, that like, I remember like one of the first Outturn preview tastings I did when I first was on board with the society. And there was one that was like super medicinal, like, I mean, it tasted like you just like licked hospital like instruments. It was super just delicious. And I think I used the tasting note like haunted hospital, like it's ghost in a haunted hospital or something like that. And ever since then, I've just really liked that kind of profile in peated whiskey. So I'll take this neat because I find it to be more amplified neat than with a little bit of water.
See, I'm getting it more now. Maybe it's just because you're describing it even more. But I mean, just those antiseptic, iodine, sterilized kind of hospital notes with water. To me, it's even showing more though. I think now than it was neat
with water.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I know. I liked it neat. So really quick, I'm going to read the full tasting notes. Because they're interesting. So it says complex maritime aromas embraced salty sea air, langoustines, and smoked mackerel with a dash of parsley, lemon, and smoked olive oil. The palate was equally seaside-esque with a platter of sweet-tasting shellfish served with a samphire. I don't know what that is. Samphire, and the coarse husk of peated barley mixed with burnt heather. Water brought us more medicinal feel with an antiseptic ointment and medicinal plasters as we walked along an exposed outer Hebridean coastline with a mug of hot malted milk. This is like a tongue twister of a tasting note. Perfumed and floral notes were now evident on the palate with puffed corn and chocolate-covered smoked almonds. Leafy herbal notes delivered fresh tarragon before licorice root lasted long on to the finish. That's a lot.
Yep.
I just want a mug of hot malted milk and to be drinking that on the outer Hebridean coastline. I want that.
What's malted milk?
So, you know, like, have you ever had like malted milk balls? I would assume it's like a malted milkshake.
Okay.
Just like in hot chocolate form. I have no idea what Big Dog is talking about.
Does anyone remember mercurochrome? Y'all have somehow evoked that memory. Mercurochrome. I don't remember ever eating or.
I have no idea what that is. You might be alone in this one, Big Dog. Wow. Well, that was a fun.
Yeah.
Five whiskeys.
Great lineup for a mid-month Outturn again.
Yeah. Really surprising. I think the first two, I was very, very surprised by those two. I'll be completely honest. I may not have been expecting the delivery that I got. That 17 years, just a really beautiful whiskey. That 11-year, so good. So good. That spicy and dry is so good.
So good. So unique. It's so
different. It's such a weird profile that we typically don't see in a lot of whiskeys. I can only think of one other whiskey that was kind of like that, but nothing that's, I don't know, really remotely close to what I was getting out of that one. And that last one, like a beautiful sweet peat medicinal. If you like that sweet peat medicinal kind of note in your peated whiskeys, then I mean, that's the ticket. Good stuff.
I know we're getting ready to close out. I went back. I'm going to pull up a little bit of that spicy and dry.
Yeah, that one.
41.149. I'm going to close out with here as we get going.
All my glasses are empty.
Oh.
But I'll pour some more of that to close it.
Well, you have to have a little bit bigger pour.
No, I do baby pours. So yeah, these all drop on the website tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So just be sure you're either logged into your account at smwusa.com to pick any of these up, or as always, you are more than welcome to give us a call, and either Scott or myself will pick the phone and be happy to chat about any of these whiskeys or any whiskey in the shop and help you out that way.
If you're watching and you're not a member, go to smwsa.com. For the American website, smws.com for the UK website. Check out more information about joining and becoming a member.
Yeah.
And this Thursday night in 3 nights, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, join myself, Ben, and a guest for our whiskey roundtable discussing sherry casks.
Or Scott will be defending his sherry cask loving honor.
That's right.
You may see the dirt of shirt.
Let me go back in here a little bit on the 41.149 before we wrap it up.
Just the nose of this is like, now that I'm going back to it, it's almost like, I mean, it's like hella butterscotchy. A butterscotch vinegar? Is there such a thing as butterscotch vinegar?
I don't think so, but
Okay, well, if there was,
more,
that's it.
More nuttiness showing. Yeah, very nice. All right. Thanks to everybody that tuned in. We appreciate it. And remember, as it says on the back of every Scotch Malt Whiskey Society bottle, Scotch Malt Whiskey Society whiskeys are not for swigging, glugging, or knocking back. Please drink responsibly. Cheers.